20-win seasons, a benchmark for pitchers and a rarity in today's game. Through Mets history, one with a tradition rich in pitching, only 5 men have reached that milestone. Today, R.A. Dickey can join that exclusive club. Through a season of dominant stretches with one-hitters and double-digit strikeout games, R.A.'s knuckleball has befuddled and frustrated batters all season long. Today, R.A. Dickey looks to put an exclamation point on his magical season by becoming the Mets' first 20-game winner in over 20 years. A day that dawned cloudy and rainy has become sunlit. Perfect for the Mets' final home game of the season and perfect for R.A. Dickey as he continues his quest for 20 wins and a possible Cy Young. At Citi Field in New York, the New York Mets play the Pittsburgh Pirates. And a pleasant good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Citi Field. Gary Cohen, Ron Darling, and yeah, it is Keith Hernandez. More on that later. As the Mets play their final home game of the year as they take on the Pittsburgh Pirates, and all eyes on R.A. Dickey as he today goes for his 20th victory, tries to enter a very select club.
Well, you know, Gary, you just mentioned something. In an organization steeped in pitching, rich in pitching over the 50 years, only 5 20-game winners, and R.A. has a chance to become the 6th. I really think, more importantly, the Cy Young. He's leading in all the important categories. I do feel for him he has a leg up on the competition. For him to blow this, he'd have to just blow up his last 2 starts. I don't think that's going to happen. Here's a guy that in 31 of his starts has thrown 7 innings or more. In 23 of them, he has just been that particularly brilliant.
Some modern observers of the game downplay the importance of pitchers' wins, but there is something incredibly magical about the phrase 20-game winner.
Oh, absolutely. I think, I tried for 14 seasons to not reach that holy grail, and I think what's even more important, while everyone was kind of losing their heads in this Mets season, R.A. was just kept moving forward, marching forward, and you see those 20-win seasons. The great thing about R.A., if he can get to this number, is not only 20 wins, but also joins an elite fraternity, but more importantly, really legitimizes the knuckleball maybe for the first time as a pitch that can win the Cy Young.
And if he can get the 20 wins, he could become the first knuckleballer ever to win the Cy Young. So the Mets, for the final time at Citi Field, R.A. Dickey takes his first crack at a 20th win. It's the Mets and the Pirates with Dickey on the mound. All the action on SNY.
Stay tuned later in the broadcast to see the video of the Keith Hernandez Stash Shave for charity presented by Schick Hydro. By AT&T, rethink possible. By Astoria Federal Savings. By McDonald's. Head to McDonald's on September 28th and 29th for a free small premium roast coffee all day long. And by Audi, truth in engineering. The Mets' 50th anniversary collector's set is a stunning 10-DVD celebration of Mets history, World Series films, season highlights, and celebrated games. Order your 10-DVD anniversary gift set at Mets.com. Drive Around the Majors presented by Mazda. Last night, the Orioles hit 7 home runs. Chris Davis had 2 of them. He drove in 5 as the Orioles beat the Blue Jays 12-2 to stay a game and a half behind the Yankees. The Tigers take over first place in the Central as they beat Kansas City, and the White Sox lost their 7th time in their last 8. And Bo Porter has been named the manager of the Houston Astros for next season. Porter taking over a team that's already lost 105 games. The ovation from the crowd here at Citi Field as R.A. Dickey makes his way in from the Citi Field bullpen for the final time in 2012. All eyes on R.A. this afternoon. It's been a magical year for the Mets knuckleballer. He tries to reach a new milestone and new heights today at Citi Field. One pitch at a time, one game at a time, but a lot more riding on this afternoon as he takes on this Hyundai Pirates starting lineup. Travis Snyder and Jordy Mercer each getting a start for the first time in this series. Mets have done a nice job against Andrew McCutchen in the first 3 games, held him to just 2 for 10 at the plate for the league's presumed leading hitter.
Well, there's stats and numbers, and then there's some real special numbers at the end of the year. These numbers brought to you by Caesars Atlantic City. Just off the charts, either number 1 or 2 and everything. And I remember in 1983 when Tom Seaver walked out of that bullpen and walked across the Shea Stadium field, the crowd went crazy. Certainly not as many here today for that opening day in '83, but the crowd really great ovation for Dickey.
And we'll take a look at the Lexus Metropolitan defense. Well, we all know that David Wright comes to the ballpark today. If you're a manager, you never have to worry about inserting his name into the lineup. And believe me, folks, that means a lot to a skipper. So David, always a gamer, everyday player, having his best defensive year of his career.
Dickey's faced the Pirates once this season. He beat them handily back on May 22nd. A 7-inning, 1-run, 5-hit, no walk, 11 strikeout performance and a 3-2 win. Starling Marte will lead off for the Pirates. Marte 1 for 3 in the series. Dickey begins the day leading the league in ERA, second in strikeouts, but just 2 behind Clayton Kershaw. 1 win behind Gio Gonzalez for the league lead in victories. And Marte takes the first knuckleball of the afternoon for a strike. The weather has come out just perfectly for RA. It rained this morning, and you always fear the weather conditions when Dickey's on the mound affecting his knuckleball. He gets ahead on Marte 0-2. 76 degrees, bright skies, just a little bit of breeze.
Mets have been their best in day games. 31-25 RA, 12-1.
Pirates looking to slow down Dickey a little bit. And Marte down on 3 pitches to start the afternoon.
That's not going to slow him down. Nice pitching there by R.A. Dickey. Nasty knuckleball starts in the middle of the plate and the bottom drops out of it. Push it, 2 fingers propelling that orb to the plate. 1.5, maybe 2 revolutions. Center of Toley's glove.
Well, wiggled on the way to home plate. 1 out and nobody on. Here's Josh Harrison, who's had good success against Dickey. He's 6 for 10 against RA in his career, and he takes outside for ball 1. Harrison 3 for 12 in this series, hitting a .243 for the year, starting at second base today. And again, Harrison calls for time, and so they really are making a concerted effort to slow down Dickey.
It's a double thing. Sorry, Keith. It's not only that they're calling time, but RA is working a lot quicker than I've ever seen him work, and maybe that's just you know, a little anxiety getting into this chance to win 20.
You see those numbers for Harrison against Dickey. And he throws him a fastball in for a strike, and it's 1-1.
Well, the batter can step out, ask for timeout most any time he wants, and you have a right to disrupt the rhythm of the pitcher.
We talked about it last night, the fact that the veteran umpire Jerry Davis is behind the plate today, and despite the fact that he and Dickey have both been around a long time, Davis has never umpired a game that Dickey has started.
He has, although they're different pitchers. As you look at the umpires, Jerry Davis, Manny Gonzalez, Greg Gibson, and Phil Cuzzi, he has been behind the plate for 7 starts of Tim Wakefield, although a different knuckleball pitcher.
Little flare out to center field. On comes Andres Torres, and that's the second out. So Harrison retired on a fly ball, and Dickey has retired the first 2 in the opening inning. Now Andrew McCutchen, who is fighting for a batting title in the National League with a week to go. He's hitting at .334, and the Mets have not helped his cause. He's just 2 for 10 in this series. He has a 3-point lead over Buster Posey in the race for the second highest average in the league, and with it the batting title. And the first pitch knuckleball in for a strike, and RA is getting that thing over early in the game. There you see the batting leaders, Melky Cabrera, who's been ruled out of contention due to his suspension, and McCutchen hanging on to the lead over Cabrera's teammate. 1-1 to McCutchen. Garrett Jones waits on deck. And McCutchen with a wild swing, 1-2. RA carried a shutout into the 9th in his last start against Miami. Wound up being charged with 2 runs when John Roush gave up a 3-run homer, but nonetheless his 19th win in that game on Friday. 1-2 and a foul back.
A good cut right there from McCutchen.
Pete, that's the one we've seen all year, where he tries to keep it true up in the strike zone.
This is the hard knuckleball here, and it makes it more difficult. Ronnie, correct me if I'm wrong, when he throws the harder one, it's harder to throw with less revolution.
There's the slow one, and it's popped up near the mound. Who's going to call? It's Tejada who takes charge, and the side retired. Dickey gets him out 1-2-3 in the top of the first. Mets will try and get him an early run when we come back.
Second.
Mets starting lineup brought to you by Geico. Terry Collins trying to achieve the right balance between offense and defense for R.A. Dickey today, as the Mets go up against the veteran right-hander Kevin Correa.
Well, Kevin Correa, San Diego born, has pitched for San Francisco, San Diego, now in Pittsburgh. 59 and 64 of his career. As you see those stats presented to you by Toyota.
Ruben Tejada, hot coming down the stretch. A 4-hit night last night, 7 for 11 in this series. And the first pitch from Correa, fastball in for a strike. Ruben's riding an 8-game hitting streak and hitting .438 over the 8 games, and now has a crack at getting back to .300, where he spent most of the year. He begins today at .296. Murphy and Wright to follow in the opening inning. First time the Mets are facing Correa this season. And the curveball misses high. 1-1. No major league shortstop has as many 4-hit games this year as Ruben Tejada. Derek Jeter, Elvis Andrus, and Yunel Escobar each have 3 4-hit games. Popped up on the right side. Josh Harrison looking through the sunglasses. 1 away.
And we'll take a look at the Coors Light Pittsburgh Pirate defense. Oh, Mr. Alvarez. A lot of errors. Boy, I saw a double play I never thought I'd see in my career. The second game of the series. Should have been a 5-4-3 on your scorecard. It turned out just to be a 5-3 on your scorecard and a phantom tag. Never seen anybody tag someone without the ball in his glove. That was a first.
Here's Daniel Murphy, 3 for 9 in this series, hitting a .292 for the year.
By the way, I noticed this shot the last couple nights. Now, I can't honestly tell you that I watched the games in their entirety, but I watched enough for this shot right here. I love it. What a great camera angle.
Today it provides not just a great perspective of hitter and pitcher, but it also provides a great shot of all those fans in the center field stands with the purple shirts. I don't know who they represent. I guess they're blue shirts. But there are a lot of them. Murphy's fouls went away, and it's 2-1. David Wright, now the Mets all-time hit king, waiting on deck. And Murphy tries to hold the swing, but he went around, and it's 2-2.
Backdoor slider. Didn't slide too much.
And Murphy takes strike 3 calls, so Correa gets him looking for the second out.
Come right back with a better one this time, Ron, in the back door.
Yeah.
This one had tilt.
Perfect pitch. See coming out, almost have that football grip as it comes out of your hand, and just enough rotation to move, 6 to 8 inches.
Perfectly framed by Ron Barajas. And so Correa has his first strikeout, and now David Wright. David with 2 hits last night, passing by Ed Kranepool to take over sole possession of the Mets all-time hit lead, now has 1,420. Shares a smile with his former teammate Barajas and goes to work against Correa. And he grounds one to the shortstop Mercer, who throws out right, and so Correa with a 1-2-3 opening inning. R.A. Dickey back to the mound for the second with no score. Offers and much more. Follow the Mets on Twitter and Facebook at Mets.com/connect. R.A. Dickey pitched a 1-2-3 opening inning. They'll face the cleanup hitter Garrett Jones to start the second. Jones 3 for 11 in this series with 4 RBIs, 25 home runs for the year. And Dickey's first offering in for a strike. R.A. seeking to work at a rapid pace this afternoon. And Jones hits it out to left. Chasing it back is Hairston, but it's over his glove and up against the wall. And so the Pirates have the first hit of the afternoon, an opposite field double for Garrett Jones.
Well, they had him defensed correctly. He just hit it too good. Get it over the head of Hairston here, just out of his reach.
I think Scott got a very good jump on that ball.
Terry Collins has made a concerted effort to try and get his best defensive team behind Dickey. And so the last few times Ari's gone to the mound, Jason Bay has been in left field. But Bay's got a stiff back, not available, and so is Hairston, who gets the call in left, and he gets burned for that double for Garrett Jones. Here's Pedro Alvarez, 3 for 9 in the series, including a bomb of a 3-run homer. And he takes a knuckler for a strike.
And you know what's strange for me, just from watching the team all year? I think Hairston plays a better right field, and Baxter plays a better left field, in my opinion.
We certainly saw Baxter make the catch of the year in left field. Alvarez, 30 home runs, 85 RBIs, also 170 strikeouts.
Oh, man.
And Dickey gets ahead 1-2.
Drive you to drink, striking out that many times. I couldn't imagine that.
That pitch curled like a pig's tail. Here's the 1-2. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Second strikeout for RA. One down in the second.
You can see when he has that ball up in the strike zone, that palm is almost underneath the baseball as he kind of thrusts his wrist at the hitter.
That's the pitch he has that I don't remember any other knuckleballer having. That knuckleball that stays up. Because the mantra for hitters against the knuckleballer always was, if it's high, let it fly.
That's right.
You let it fly against that pitch, you're going to miss it more often than not because it stays up and out of the strike zone. Here's Travis Snyder, the right fielder. And he bloops one into shallow left center. On comes Hairston, but that'll fall for a base hit. Jones going to third. And the Pirates have runners at the corners with one out.
Well, you're going to get a lot of flares when you're against a knuckleballer if your approach is the proper one, which is just wait to the last minute. Now, this ball's in front. Jones does a very good job halfway. You can't get doubled up. You're only going to advance one base. Your first and third, one out. But if you wait to the last minute, this is what makes, I think, RA so effective, Gary, is we talk about the velocity. When he throws the hard one, that no one's thrown one harder, he's going to jam a lot of hitters.
Now here's the former Met Rod Barajas, first and third and one out. The infield at double play depth. Well, RA had gone 28 straight at bats with runners in scoring position without giving up a hit. Even though that one didn't bring in a run, it does go down as a RISP hit.
Well, whenever you look at the knuckleball, see the thumb is on a seam, and his two outside fingers that we can't see serve as the rudder for the baseball as he propels that towards the plate. They really get you the channel that you want to throw the ball, and the knuckle makes the ball move.
Good look at that on the Coors Light freeze cam. 1-1 to Barajas, who is a guy who, as the Met fans know, likes to swing for the fences.
He is the guy in this lineup. When I was looking at it, I said, he's the wild card, because conventional pitching, guys who throw hard, Jordy Mercer on deck, he's the guy that might do it.
On 2-1, he lifts one out to right center. That'll get a run in at least. Baxter back, and he won't get to it. It hops over the wall for a ground rule double. Jones scores. Snyder to third. The Pirates have a 1-0 lead. So Barajas taking one the other way for a run-scoring two-base hit. And the Mets fortunate at that the ball went out of play. Otherwise, Snyder might have scored as well.
Well, all three hits opposite field. Two properly. Barajas here going with an outside knuckleball. That's just well struck. Unfortunate for the Mets and Dickey that this ball bounced over the fence, because that was 2 runs easy.
The Pirates, who have the fewest doubles of any team in the National League, have 2 doubles in the inning.
And what we've seen from Barajas is, when he was a Met, was a pull hitter.
Infield in. This is unusual. Second and third and one out this early in the game to play the infield in, because if you hit it by the run in infield, that's 2 runs. Jordy Mercer, the rookie shortstop, getting his first appearance in the series, and ducks out of the way of that knuckleball.
Hello.
1-1.
Personally, I don't like this call of having the infield in as we watch this not knuckle, make a right turn.
Oh, boy.
I mean, if you are thinking that you're not going to score 2 runs against Kevin Correa, then you don't want a big inning here.
It's a big gamble, no question about it. And the fastball fouled off. And now Dickey ahead on Mercer, 1-2, and RA in a spot where he really needs a strikeout. Snyder at third and Barajas at second. The pitcher Correa is on deck. So if he can get Mercer here, he's got a chance to get through the inning with only 1 run scored.
He's always got to use all of his 6'2" 210 to get in front of this baseball somehow, some way.
Well, RA getting ahead with fastballs. 2 fastballs in his at bat. Very, very crafty. Cagey. Now he's ahead in the count. He can throw the knuckleball.
Mercer's had only 56 big league at bats, sitting at 196. 1-2 from Dickey, and it's fouled away again. A couple of high, hard knuckleballs, and Mercer able to hang in there.
Oh, good time for the soft one now after an up and in hard one. He got McCutcheon in the inning, the first inning. And Torres, as you can see, just loves to play shallow. And Baxter, too, surprisingly. One's already got over his head. Hairston's playing pretty normal.
1-2. Tap toward third. Tough play for Wright, coming to first base. And safe there as a run comes in. Well, Wright's first reaction was to throw home, but didn't feel that he had the angle or the time to get Travis Snyder. And by the time he adjusted, Mercer was across the bag at first with an infield hit.
Well, the play's in front of David here. And right now, Toley's got to move out. You see Toley still stayed inside. Now watch Wright go into foul territory. Where's Toley? Toley's in fair territory. He's got to shuffle to the outside in foul territory to give David a target. And he failed to do so, and therefore David could not make the throw because he would have had to throw across the third baseline into the runner.
So 2 runs are in. Now the pitcher Correa with first and third and 1 out.
So just keep your eye on Toley right here. David comes in. It's obvious. It's the momentum's going to carry. He's already in foul. Now look at shift out here. And Toley does not do it.
What's interesting on that play, if the infield would have been back, that topper would have been a play that David wouldn't have been able to make, and he probably would have let the ball have a chance to go foul.
Correa 5 hits, 7 sacrifices, and this time ready to swing, but takes it outside, and it's 2-0. So 4 hits in the inning against Dickey. It started with Garrett Jones hitting a double that eluded Scott Hairston in left field. With 1 out, Travis Snyder dumped one in front of Hairston for a hit. Barajas drove the ball to right center for a double to bring in a run, and then Mercer with the dribbler for an infield hit to bring in the second run. With a little better defense, this could be a very different inning. And Correa fouls it off, and it's 2-2.
It's that little play that everyone has adopted.
I don't necessarily. Correa's not the greatest of hitting pitchers, but
I think what they're trying to do, a lot of teams now, Keith, are trying to bunt that ball to the first baseman. If it's a perfect bunt, the runner tries to steal a run, but it's Barajas.
There's no way he's coming home. He tries the butcher boy there and fouls it off.
If the best scenario is to bunt it down the third base line and have the Barajas follow behind Wright, because Tejada has to cut back up, has to cover second base. So there's no one there to guard third base. So Barajas could just creep behind David.
Swing and a miss, and Correa's out on strikes. So for all the craftiness in that at bat, Correa makes the second out.
Ball shimmied as it came in.
So 2 strikeouts in the inning, 3 on the day for Dickey. And now Starling Marte bats with first and third and 2 outs with 2 runs already home. Marte struck out his first time up. Called up in late July. Takes outside 1-0. Showed off one of his tools last night with a stunning throw to the plate to get Daniel Murphy by, oh, I don't know, 30 feet. And a high strike, 1-1. He's thrown 25 pitches in this inning. And that's scooped out by Toley, 2-1.
Oh boy, I tell you what, that's a tough one for Josh right there. That's a clean pick. That was very dangerous with a runner on third base. Very no footwork at all whatsoever. Youch.
And Marte takes a strike. 2-2. Barajas at third, Mercer at first with 2 down. 2 runs home in the inning. An inning that R.A. Dickey's trying to put to bed. Runner goes, swing and a miss. He strikes out Marte. 3 strikeouts in the inning for Dickey. But along the way, 2 runs and 4 hits for the Pirates. Dickey with 4 strikeouts for the day, but now down 2-0 in the second. Ike Davis leads off the home second inning. Mets with some work to do now for R.A. Dickey. Down 2-0 in the second. Davis 2 for 10 in the series. Do take on the K corner.
Nice.
4 Ks in Dickey now. Kevin Correa got the Mets 1-2-3 in the first inning through just 9 pitches to get there. Ike at 224 on the year, 30 home runs, 88 driven in. And the first pitch, breaking ball, pulled down the right field line, but just foul.
Well, I was not working the 3 games, this first 3 games of the series, so congratulations to Ike. That's quite remarkable with this first half that Ike had, that he has 30 home runs on the season, and really a sign of his intestinal fortitude, and really turned something that was a sinking Titanic the first half. Turned it around. Impressive.
Clearly we had a better rudder than the Titanic to steer around that iceberg.
A stronger hull.
Correa with a 1-1. And he nips the outside corner with the fastball, 2-1. Hairston and Baxter to follow for the Mets in the second. Pirates with a full infield shift on against Davis. Correa can't get that slider over 2-2.
Correa loves his little backdoor slider. He asked home plate umpire Jerry Davis it was low. He thought he had the corner. He loves to throw that backdoor slider.
One of the reasons he's more effective against lefties than he is against righties. Lefties hitting just 242 against him, the righties 286.
Reminds me of was it Les Lancaster? Was it for the Cubs?
That's a good call. Good pull right there.
He got me out for 3 series out of the bullpen, striking me out looking on the backdoor slider. And the 3rd time he struck me out, I said, okay, I'm waiting. Next time, brother. Men on base late. I want to get your butt. And I did.
Nice.
He went back to the well.
Double L down.
2-2 to Davis, and it's off the plate. Full count. Kevin Correa, now 31 years old. 4th round pick by the Giants back in 2002 out of Cal Poly San Luis Obispo. Too many big leaguers from there. Beautiful part of the world. Here's the 3-2, and it's hit in the air to deep right center. Back goes Snyder, looking up, and it's out of here. Ike Davis with a long home run to get the Mets on the board. Number 31 for Ike, and it cuts the Pirates' lead to 2-1.
Oh, he's got a little lilt in his step this afternoon.
Oh, line drive linear, 420 feet. That'll put a little life in it.
There's the backdoor slider that gets over the middle. He wants it outside corner, starts it outside corner. So where's it end up? Right down Broadway.
The back of that Mets bullpen. Number 31 for Ike. 89 runs batted in to regain the club lead. And now Scott Hairston takes inside for ball 1.
Is that where you turned to Barajas and said, don't worry about that, Rod? I got this one.
That was, yeah.
I'll take care of that.
Relax, son. I got this one.
So Davis gets Dickey halfway back. There's a call strike, and it's 1-1. Hairston 2 for 12 in this series. Both the hits came last night, a single and a double. In the Mets 6-0 win. And for most of the year, Davis's home runs had come on the road. Very few here at Citi Field, but now he's hit 4 on this homestand, including a 2-home run game the other night.
Is that 11 out of 31 at home? Yeah, it is.
Well, that one would have been a home run last year, but this ballpark has been more friendly to the home run this season. 43 more home runs this year than last coming into today. Last year, the average was 1.33 home runs per game at Citi Field. This year, 1.89.
Mets still getting out homered here, though, right?
More so than last year. Last year, they were only out homered at home 58-50. This year, 86-66, which figures as it's pulled down to third by Hairston. Alvarez with the overhand throw for the first out. Because after all, the Mets are not a big power hitting team, and so it was one of the things you thought might happen was that the discrepancy would work against Met pitchers. However, I think as you look at the overall numbers for the 4 years here at Citi Field, I think the psychological benefits for the Met offensive players more than outweigh whatever negative ledger they might have.
But you also had to expect more from Bay. You had to expect more from Duda. And we just talked about Ike hitting most of his on the road.
I tell you what, you walk down on the field in batting practice and you stand behind home plate, and the ballpark to me still looks big.
Yeah.
It really looks big.
Baxter gets in front of one and pulls it foul. Here's the interesting thing to me. Even though home runs are up by more than a half a home run per game here, if you combine Mets and their opponents, runs scored is way down in this ballpark from last year. Last year, almost 8.6 runs per game here. This year, 7.8, almost 3/4 of a run per game. And I don't know the reason for that. Baxter hits it in the air to deep right field. Back goes Snyder to the track. Back at the wall. It's out of here. No, he brought it back. He brought it back. Snyder with a great catch to rob a home run from Mike Baxter. It was over the wall. He climbed the fence and he brought it back in. What an amazing play by Travis Snyder.
This rivals the catch that you see all the time from Japan, climbing the wall like Spider-Man.
That's like Andy Chavez's catch in the playoffs.
Even higher. Look how high his body is over that fence.
Snow cone.
He got his foot into that mesh and climbed, so he was able to propel his body. His shoulders were over that wall. What an amazing play.
If you recall, Gary, that's how Bobby Valentine got severe injury to his knee and I think he broke his leg climbing up a cyclone fence like that. Back in his Dodger days, and that ruined his career. I watched Willie Mays and all those giant outfielders at Candlestick. It was all cyclone fence.
Here's what makes that play even more amazing. This is the first game Travis Snider has played in this ballpark.
Yeah.
He didn't play the first 3 games of the series, except as a pinch hitter. For him to know that he had the ability to climb that fence like that and make that play is stunning.
Tells you a little bit of what kind of outfielder he is. That's the darndest F9 I've ever put in my book.
I can't recall ever seeing a player go farther above a fence to take away a home run. I mean, Andy Chavez did it on pure leap at Shea Stadium in 2006. But to propel himself up by getting his foot into that chain link, Travis Snider was able to become 13 feet tall. And he needed every bit of it to rob Baxter of what it would have been a game-tying home run.
It's almost like those small gymnasiums when you're a kid where the wall is close enough to the basket that you can climb up the wall to dunk the basketball.
You know, there are some padded fences where you can climb by digging your spike into it. Griffey used to do that all the time. But on a regular fence, you can't do what Travis Snider just did.
That's a heck of a catch. There's no doubt about it.
Tolley lines one the other way, and on comes Marte to grab it, and that retires the side. Well, Mike Davis gets the Mets on the board with a home run. Mike Baxter nearly tied it, but Travis Snider with the play of the year. Just incredible. Like Spider-Man going up the wall. 2-1 Pittsburgh after 2. Somebody liked it.
He's throwing his towel at him. Yeah, boy, oh boy.
You know, Neil Huntington, the Pittsburgh general manager, has taken a lot of heat for the trade that brought Travis Snider to Pittsburgh at the trading deadline. They traded away a useful pitcher in Brad Lincoln, and Snider had done very little to help the Pirates' cause. But what he just did, not a lot of players can do. Josh Harrison with a check swing foul ball. It's 1-1.
I think you made a good point, Gary. We have enough problems with the outfielders to play 81 games here trying to figure out how to play right field. In his first game, he makes play of the year.
Broken bat grounder for Tejada, and he throws out the speedy Harrison for the first out. He just went down the tunnel. Snyder did between innings to watch it, and he came back shaking his head. He couldn't believe that he did it himself.
Well, he's entitled. Good for him. Nice play.
He'll be watching that one on highlight packages for the rest of his life.
There he is. Throw your towel at him.
Andrew McCutcheon popped to short his first time up. Well, this is the fourth year this ballpark has been open. I don't think we've seen a play better than that one.
I thought the best plays we probably had here happened in foul territory. This ball almost hits McCutcheon. Same pitch that was in on the shortstop. Jody Mercer.
Thinking of Ike's flip catches?
Yeah. Right?
Well, he had 3 of them in that short period of time right after he was called up.
Interesting that RA has kind of brushed back around 3 hitters early in this game. Remember, we talked earlier about how this team has taken him the other way. And he's like saying, okay, I'm going to throw him out. They're going to be doing that. I'm going to be throwing my hard one inside. Get in their pots and pans.
And they keep trying to slow him down. Strike 3 call. Got him looking at the hard knuckleball. 5 strikeouts for Dickey.
Well, the strikeouts are significant for RA. Right down the middle.
That didn't do much either.
Well, Dickey today has taken over the National League strikeout lead. He now has 214, 3 more than Clayton Kershaw, who's going to make his next start on Friday for the Dodgers. 5 Ks in Dickey. Get that E back in. Here's Garrett Jones, who got the Pirates started in the second inning with an opposite field double, and this time Scott Harrison's playing a little deeper in left field than he did the first time Jones came to bat. Jones burned him over his head.
Well, you have to pay attention. Garrett Jones hit a long home run to left center in the first game of the series. He has power that way.
Well, Dickey trying to put himself in position to become the first knuckleballer ever to win the Cy Young, and I would throw another name into that mix there. Matt Cain last night, 7 scoreless innings. He's now 16 and 5, 2.77. Ground ball toward the hole past Murphy, and a base hit for Garrett Jones. He's now 2 for 2. There are enough candidates bunched tightly enough together that one stumble could cost anybody.
Yep.
Johnny Cueto had his run of stumbles earlier in the month. Probably is going to cost him the Cy Young.
He also doesn't have the innings part, the strikeouts part. He's not a match for Gio or Dickey as far as the starting pitcher is concerned, in my opinion.
Slow ground ball off the bat of Pedro Alvarez, and Murphy throws him out to end the inning. A hit and 1 left. Mets will go back to work in the bottom of the third, down 2-1. cart standing by outside the Verizon studios. Kevin?
All right, Gary, the final Verizon Ask the Booth for the year. I'm getting a bit teary-eyed as we speak, but I found a very good question for you guys. Eric is here from Fan Lawn in Jersey. Had to go with the Jersey boy for the final one. Eric, what do you got for these guys?
How you doing, guys? What do you think the chances are that the Mets will go out and spend money to acquire a legitimate center fielder and/or right fielder in the offseason?
Eric also took broadcasting skills between innings, so you could see the results. Guys?
Very nice. Well, those are two separate questions, I think. One is, will they spend money? And two is, will they go out and try and get a center fielder? I think the answer to number two is a little clearer than the answer to number one. I don't know what the Mets' payroll budget is going to be for next year. They have an enormous amount of money committed to a small number of players. When you look at what they owe Johan Santana and what they owe Jason Bay, and assuming they pick up his option and don't trade him, what they owe David Wright. So if the payroll stays the same this year, next year as it is this year, they won't have a whole lot of wiggle room to go out and spend a lot of money. So that's an unknown. Do they want to get an upgraded center field? I don't think there's any question.
Well, I think that you know, there's some players out there, but you're going to have to give up some of your players for them. And you know, we were mentioning I want to say second string catcher of the Milwaukee Brewers, Gary, you and I were talking about, because they've committed a lot of money to their young catcher Jonathan Lucroy. It was Maldonado, I think.
Martin Maldonado, right?
And you know, you could look there. You could look at a youngster maybe that could come over and help as far as the catching position. Center field, same way.
Well, I think the thing that's lost, not so much in position, is they need Mets need a leadoff man.
Yeah.
Now, whether that's a center fielder, a left fielder, a second baseman, who knows?
The name I threw out there, and I don't know if it would ever happen because they have Quentin Berry maybe to take his place, was Austin Jackson, you and I were talking about the other day. Yankee originally, traded in that big trade to Detroit, and he is starting to take off. I mean, he's had some great years anyway.
He's cut down the strikeouts this year. Harrison throws out Torres for the first out. But, you know, what is an Austin Jackson going to cost you? He's become a very valuable player for the Tigers. Maybe, and I don't know what the Mets think of Quentin Berry, maybe you try and trade for the less established player. It would cost you less. But Dickey gets a nice hand as he comes to bat. Some people dressed up for the occasion. RA has 10 hits this year to go with his 19 wins. Dickey chatting with Barajas, who caught him here a couple of years ago. And it's slapped to the right side. And Harrison makes the play on Dickey for the second out. So first time through the batting order, Mets have had just one base runner.
Well, not really.
By Davis. Well, he ran the bases.
Technically not, though. Well, technically yes.
Technically yes.
He just didn't stop.
That's right.
Baxter was hoping not to stop either, but he got stopped in his tracks.
Murph does that sometimes.
So now Tejada. Ruben popped up to second base his first time up. Here's the 1-0. And Tejada lifts one to shallow center, and right there is McCutchen waiting. And that retires the side. 6 in a row retired by Correa. 2-1 Pirates after 3. overtime against the Baltimore Orioles. Wilson Benjamin had the only hit of 2 outs in the 5th as Ari struck out a career-high 13 and became only the 10th player in modern baseball history to throw back-to-back one-hitters. One of the highlights of his remarkable season. Well, here's Travis Snider, who's already put his stamp on this game, and not with his bloop single in the 2nd inning, rather with his defense making a stunning catch to rob Mike Baxter of a home run and keep this game from being tied. Snider making his 30th start for the Pirates since coming over from Toronto. And he fouls off the knuckleball, and it's 1-1.
He's got a little of Brian Giles type body type, doesn't he?
Yes.
Thick outfielder.
Rod Barajas on deck. Then Jordy Mercer for the Pirates in the 4th. Snider, 24 years old, first-round pick by Toronto back in '06 at Kirkland, Washington. Never quite produced the way the Blue Jays had expected, and finally they gave up on him and traded him to Pittsburgh.
Lincecum from that area? Kirkland?
Yeah, from the same part of the state of Washington. One-two from Dickey, and Snider gets a piece of it and fouls it off. Jason Bay bothered by a stiff back. That's why he's not in the lineup today. Off the fists. Murphy fields that one hopper. It came at him like a knuckleball.
Yeah, right.
Snider out for the first out. Well, there's where R.A. ranks coming into the day. 1 win behind Gio Gonzalez for the league lead in victories. He's now leading the league in strikeouts with his 5 today. He's passed Clayton Kershaw.
And his one stat not there, he's leading in shutouts. So those are all biggies.
3 shutouts this year.
Those are all biggies.
You would have to say going into this start, R.A. is the favorite to win the Cy Young. My biggest question as far as the way the voters are going to assess everybody's season is how much support Craig Kimbrell is going to get.
Yeah.
There are a lot of voters who are reluctant to vote for a relief pitcher, but Kimbrell has been so dominant this year. I'm sure he's going to get some support.
Oh boy, Barajas taking a big cut. We have that. He always swings from his shoestrings. Really, when the Mets brought Barajas here, who was a fly ball guy, hits home runs, really the ballpark was just too big for him to go.
0-2 from Dickey.
And a high fly ball deep left field. Back goes Hairston. Back at the wall. It's out of here. Rod Barajas takes Dickey deep. 11th home run of the year for Barajas. And now the Pirates lead it 3-1.
Well, that was a home run in the old ballpark. And me and my big mouth.
Well, me too, Keith. I said that Barajas has that kind of swing. He can't hit the 95-mile-an-hour gas anymore. It's more of a slider speed bat, and sliders around 78 to 80 miles an hour, and that's what you get with a knuckleball, and this one didn't move.
0-2 knuckleball right in the middle of the plate. So Barajas today with an RBI double and now a home run.
And that's out in the old park. And what I clarify what I said. And over a course of 162 games, the ballpark is too big for a guy like Barajas.
They're not buying it out there, I'm telling you.
22nd home run that Dickey's allowed this year. Now he's ahead on Jordy Mercer 0-2. Mercer had an infield hit to drive in a run in the 2nd. You know, I'm sure R.A. is of the mindset that he has got to stop it right here. 3 runs allowed over the first 3 1/3. But Mercer follows with a base hit. Torres trouble tracking it down. Mercer takes a turn, but he'll hold on with a single.
Interesting choice there. An 0-2 fastball by R.A. Dickey, trying to surprise Mercer, and it didn't.
Back-to-back hits on 0-2 pitches for the Pirates Sunday, immediately after the Jets wrap up their game against the 49ers. Tune to SNY for behind-the-scenes access, player reactions, and a complete game breakdown with exclusive on-field interviews and Rex Ryan's post-game comments. Jets post-game live presented by Toyota Sunday immediately after the Jets 49ers game, only on SNY. Correa struck out after trying to bunt in the 2nd inning. And looking to bunt now. 7 sacrifices for the year for Correa. Mercer not a fast man at first, and Correa gets the bunt down nicely. Dickey will go to first with it. 1-4 on the sacrifice. Mercer moves to second.
Guys, to put this in, to put some symmetry on this, the last person to win 20 games, we mentioned it many times, was Frank Viola. On that season in 1990, won 20 games, won 20 and 12. 14 times he gave up 1 run in 7 innings. RA has done it 15 times this year. Frankie had 3 shutouts in that season. RA has 3 shutouts this year. Frankie's problem was he had 19 early in September, went 3 starts without a win, and then got it in his last start in Pittsburgh.
It's also worth noting, as you look at Frank Viola's 1990 season, the last Met to win 20 games. Didn't win the Cy Young that year. That went to Doug Drabek. It's also worth noting that no Met pitcher has ever won 20 in a year that the Mets had a losing record. And the Mets are going to have a losing record this year. The best win total for a Met pitcher in a losing season was Jerry Koosman, who went 19 and 12 as a rookie in 1968 when the Mets went 73 and 89. Swing and a miss. Marte is down on strikes. 6 strikeouts for Dickey, but the Pirates had a run on the Barajas home run and lead it 3-1 in the 4th at Citi Field. The Schick Hydro Power Select Razor in recognition of this historic event. Keith and Schick Hydro made a joint $10,000 donation to the Jacqueline Hernandez Adult Day Health Center for patients with Alzheimer's disease and dementia, a charity close to Keith's heart. For a chance to win the commemorative Schick Hydro Power Select Razor handle used to shave Keith's trademark mustache and an autographed baseball, visit facebook.com/SNY, and you can watch the full video from the event at SNY.TV. And there is the mustache list one.
Actually, it looks like I still have it. It's so white.
You said over 20 years, right?
I can't call it gray. It's white. Pale.
It's been a while since the sun has visited that lip.
Now, a lot of people have said that you don't look any different. You look completely different to me.
I look completely different to myself.
Yeah.
I hardly recognize myself.
Great charity, of course. In honor of your mom, Jacqueline.
Thank you. All good. Thanks to Schick, too. I mean, they jumped on board. $10,000 to the Jacqueline Hernandez Daycare Center.
I hope this doesn't mean that you've lost your mojo.
Well, we'll have to talk to Kurt about that.
No, your hair's long. You're fine.
Now the question is, what happens from here? Are you going to keep shaving every day?
I will go the remainder of the season. These, six games after this. And I will shave it, Garrett. And I'll keep it off for a bit. I want to see, I'll get a little tan on it. See how it looks.
Go to a tanning booth?
I almost feel I have to go to a nude beach.
There'll be some interested fans in that, I'm sure.
I didn't realize that a bare upper lip required a nude beach.
This is all you have to do. Come outside to the veranda at the American Hotel instead of eating inside. You'll be fine.
2-2 to Murphy, who struck out his first time up. And he just gets a piece of Correa's pitch. Now the other question I have is, if you do decide to grow it back, will you go back to coloring it, or will you allow it to come back in gray?
I will not color it, no. If it comes back, it'll be gray. And I must say, I don't particularly care for it. It was that gray, to be honest with you. And that was part of the decision process. That's what got it. That's what triggered it. And not that it makes me look like an octogenarian, but I just didn't like the look. So hey, what the heck? And we got a nice little donation for a great cause. So wonderful, all good.
It's the next phase of your life. 3-2 to Murphy, and he slaps one the other way for a base hit. Terrific turn it back for Murphy, and the Mets get the leadoff man on in the fourth.
Well, Murph kind of hung in there. Looks like a split finger. But a lot of tumble there, which is what the splitter does. And as a hitter, and that is really quite remarkable, that shot right there. Because what makes the split finger so effective, and my colleague to my left here, Ronnie, threw it so, one of his big out pitches, is that as a hitter, because you saw the spin as opposed to RA's knuckleball, as a hitter, it looks like a fastball coming in, and all of a sudden the bottom drops out. It was a tough pitch.
Now David Wright bats as the tying run in a 3-1 game. David bounced to short his first time up. Chases it outside fastball and fouls it off. Ike Davis, who homered his first time up, waiting on deck.
You know, when Suter came up and was the first ones throwing it, it's all he threw, so you can look for it. But Roger Craig, when he took over that pitching staff of the Giants, and they all started adding it to their repertoire, that was tough.
Scott Gereltz.
Buffy
threw it, right?
Yeah, Lacoste started throwing it, and it saved Lacoste's career. The only guy who didn't use it was Krukow. Krukow had too good a hook. Kelly Downs.
On the right field side foul. Well, David Wright broke the Mets all-time hits record last night, but he's still chasing Ed Kranepool. He's 29 hits behind Kranepool for the most hits by a Met at home. Kranepool had 718 at the Polo Grounds and at Shea. Wright has 689 at Shea and Citi Field.
Crane's got the big Shea. No one can take that one away.
That's right. He wears the crown when the leaves turn brown.
Toward the middle of the diamond, and it sneaks in for a base hit. Murphy goes first to third. A seeing eye single for David Wright, and the Mets have the tying runs on base with nobody out.
Well, we've seen a lot of these extreme defenses, and sometimes, you know, you get beat by it. And I don't agree with them. I know Ronnie doesn't. And there's a play right there. It should be 6-4-3 in your scorecard. But you got your shortstop playing David, who's been rolling over a lot lately and pulling too much in the hole, gives up too much in the middle of the field.
And think of it this way. If you play straight up for the double play and David pulls it in the hole, Murphy does not go first to third. It's first and second.
So an opportunity for Ike Davis, who already has a 2-home run game in this series. Homered his first time up today, and he bats here with the tying runs on base and nobody out. And Knight takes a fastball for a strike. Davis's home run went deep into the Mets bullpen in right center field, his 31st of the year. Leads the Mets in home runs, now has 89 RBIs to lead in that category as well.
Talking about extremes, there for the shortstop up the middle. I kind of more tend to agree with Ike.
Popped it up. Alvarez having room. And that's the first down of the inning. Wright fakes the go from first but holds on. So now one out, runner still at the corners for Scott Hairston. Hairston grounded out to third his first time up. Alvarez at third base has been cheating toward the line against Hairston.
Boy, look at this. They're giving Hairston all that right field. Remember that series, was it in Houston, Gary, that, or was it here in Houston, or was it in Houston?
Arizona.
It was Arizona where Hairston went the other way the entire series.
Well, last night he pulled one over the third base bag that looked like an absolute double. But because Alvarez was playing so close to the line at third, he made a tremendous diving stop and threw him out.
Ray is the kind of pitcher to me. He hasn't pitched righties or lefties inside. He can eliminate half the plate when he's pitching.
Keeping the ball away on Hairston, and it's 2-0. Manny Gonzalez saying he didn't swing. Mike Baxter, who was robbed of a home run his first time up, waiting on deck. Now on 2-0, Hairston lays off the slider and apparently foul tipped it. Held by Barajas, and it's 2-1. Trying not to swing.
Didn't look like it hit the bat there, but
no argument from Scott. And he punches one the other way for a base hit. That brings in Murphy. Wright stops at second. 3 hits in the inning for New York, and the Pirate lead is cut to 3-2.
Well, smart hitting.
Good call, Keith, especially with 2 strikes.
Correa loves the outside corner. Good fastball away. Goes right with it. No intent to pull this ball. Good 2-strike hitting. And with that hole between the second baseman and the first baseman, look at that. I mean, come on. Put an aircraft carrier through there.
54th RBI for Scott Hairston. Ray Searage, the Pirate pitching coach, on his way to the mound. Correa in his last start went 6 innings, allowed 4 runs and 7 hits to the Astros. But he's been pitching pretty well coming down the stretch. Up to 164 innings now. Well, Mike Baxter hit one over the wall against Correa his first time up, and Travis Snyder made an outlandish play to rob him of a home run.
Well, watching, he just caught the tail end of that, but that really, they're going to pick the ball up, the wall up, turn his eyesight completely from the ball, and then pick it back up and make the catch, scaling the wall. What a catch.
Now Wright the tying run at second. Hairston at first with 1 out. Baxter has 3 home runs for the season. Grounds this one to the right side. Jones is going to settle for the out at first. Not sure why he didn't go to second base. But they get the 3-1 put out on Baxter for the second out.
Why? Force out. Minimum. You got runners in scoring position now, too. Take a 2-out single. The Mets take the lead. Look at this. You got him. Come on. Plays in front of you. No comprende.
So now Josh Tolley, the batter. Mets could take a lead with a base hit. Second and third and 2 out. Tolley lined to left his first time, and he shoots one foul outside third. Wright the tying run at third. Harrison at second with 2 down. Only 311 at bats this year, 21 RBIs. But his battery mate could sure use him to drive in a pair right now. Andres Torres on deck. And Josh hits a dribbler down to first. Easy for Garrett Jones, and that retires the side. Mets settle for 1 run in the inning and get closer. 3-2. Pirates lead it after 4.
And
only on SNY. Pirates have been in front since the top of the second inning. Mets have fought back on a couple of occasions, but still trail 3-2. Josh Harrison leads off against R.A. Dickey in the 5th. Harrison 0 for 2, flied out and grounded out, and he takes the knuckler out of the strike zone for ball 1. Cloud cover has increased as the game has gone along. They've talked about unsettled weather today, but there certainly has been no sign of rain, and we all know that rain is RA's enemy.
It's raining in Brooklyn when I woke up this morning. Pretty bad, too.
I don't know if it was the rain or something else, but there were probably more traffic accidents around the metropolitan area today than there has been any day this year.
Really?
You had one coming on the Hutch, right?
Coming down through Westchester. There were a bunch on the New Jersey Turnpike. There was some out on Long Island.
Is it post holidays? People trying to rush to work, or?
Swing and a miss, and Dickey has his 7th strikeout as he gets Harrison one away in the 5th.
That's that one up in the strike zone that just does not come down, stays true, and stays at the letters.
That one shimmy.
It's like oscillating back and forth.
So the K corner continues to progress. Andrew McCutchen steps in, and we'll check in with Kevin.
He has obviously had a terrific year, and he doesn't really want to talk about the batting title, guys, or any other number for that fact. I asked him if 30-30 meant anything to him. Is that a goal? He said, I have to be honest, I don't set any goals around numbers, and there's a reason why. Because let's just say coming into the year I wanted to hit 35 home runs, and I'm at 30. Then all of a sudden the last couple of weeks I'm changing my swing, I'm going for the fences. I just don't like doing it. You put undue pressure on yourself. My thing that I said is focus and the right attitude every day. And he said, I know that sounds simple, but being consistent in this game every day is a hard thing to do, and I'm working at it, but I'm getting there. Guys?
Well, he has projected himself as one of the best players in the game at age 25, having a phenomenal season.
A wise young man.
Gets it.
He goes down on strikes. Second time McCutcheon's been struck out. That's 8 punch-outs for Dickey, including the last 3 hitters.
Again, not much rotation. You know, the ball's not moving that much.
They're shooting right through it.
Hope they brought enough.
You know, it's interesting what McCutcheon said as you see the Y's there at the end. McCutcheon saying about putting pressure on himself by having yearly goals. It brings up to mind, I remember Pete Rose talking to me, and Pete was the human calculator up there in that brain of his. Pete said it's a long season to only go by 100 at bats. It goes 30 for 100. It goes 100 at bats if you walk. He goes, that's going to be around a month's work, almost a month's work.
Yeah.
He says if you get 35 in the first month, then you only need 25 the second month to hit 200, 300 after 200 at bats. Or you always want to build on it.
Yeah.
So that made perfect sense to me. So therefore, you're not sitting there. I remember Pete saying, if you look at it week by week, day by day, you're going to drive yourself crazy.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Dickey behind in the count for a rare time today. 3-0 on Jones, who might be swinging here. And he takes the fastball for ball 4. First walk of the day issued by RA. His average just 2.1 walks per 9 innings, an extraordinary number for a knuckleballer.
Jerry Davis, the home plate umpire, 27 years, has always been a guy with a real small strike zone. But RA hasn't really needed him today because it's more swing and misses today by the Pittsburgh hitters.
Well, he's been ahead in the count all day long. In fact, he gave up a home run on an 0-2 pitch in the last inning. See the strikeout numbers: 8 strikeouts, 1 walk today. Here's Alvarez, and he takes a strike. Pedro has struck out and grounded out to second, 0 for 2. Dickey's given up 7 hits this afternoon, and he floats that one just outside, 1-1.
I'm sorry, Ron. Let's make one added point on that. If you just add 600 at bats, 25 hits for 600 at bats, it's 150 hits on the year. A 300 hitter, 6 times 30, 180. Only 30 hits. A difference between a very mediocre 250 and a 300 hitter.
One a week.
One extra hit a week.
One a week.
It's amazing. I never thought of it in terms of that until Pete brought it up.
One and 2 to Alvarez. He struck him out. 9 strikeouts for R.A. Dickey. Halfway through this drama, Mets down by a run, with Dickey going for 20. Facebook, a chance to win the ultimate Sunday Fun Day package for you and 3 friends at Bowlmore. With VIP service and more, it's the SNY Sunday Fun Day sweepstakes presented by Boomer Esiason Stadium Grill at Bowlmore. To enter, visit Facebook and like SNY today. That's a run behind as they come to bat in the 5th against Kevin Correa. Andres Torres leads off and fouls back the fastball. Torres grounded out to second base his first time up. R.A. Dickey on deck, and then Ruben Tejada. Pirates led 2-0. Mets got a run back on Ike Davis's home run. Barajas homer to make it 3-1, but Scott Hairston's base hit got the Mets back within a run at 3-2. And Torres takes the curveball out of the strike zone, 1-1. Meanwhile, Dickey running a big strikeout numbers on the other side. 9 strikeouts through 5 innings, but still a run behind. And Torres lays off. Correa with back-to-back curveballs, and it's 2-1. Kevin Correa, part of a Pirates pitching staff that was dominant early in the year. They faded some in the second half, but Correa finishing strong. 2.52 ERA in September.
He had a 7-0 stretch in the middle of the summer that really made his year.
If Correa were to win today, he would get to 12 wins. A.J. Burnett has 16 and James McDonald has 12. As the pitchers stretch in the bullpen, there's Isanori Takahashi in the middle.
Only thing missing is Richard Simmons with those moves out there.
And that's ball 4, and Torres is on with a leadoff walk. First walk given up by Correa, and now Dickey can come up and try and bunt him over. SNY Super Slow Motion brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit them on the web at searchmercedes.com.
Three-one slider there to walk Torres.
Bad choice.
I agree.
Dickey has 10 sacrifice bunts to go with his 10 hits this year. Alvarez really crashing from third, and Dickey pushes one foul.
And Andres is sitting one sub 200 from the left side.
Where Alvarez is playing, and as much as he is charging, would you be tempted to try and hit one down his throat?
I would give him 2 strikes.
Swing the bat.
That's ridiculous.
Give an early fake and take it back, and it'll lean you.
Instead, he's trying to push it to first, but now it's 0-2.
The problem when the third baseman charges like that, it makes the pitcher try to be too fine, and you end up missing the bunt. Just pull it back at least once. If you just swing one time, he'll push back.
Now it's 2 strikes, and he's going to play a little further back. Still expecting the bunt, though.
Good time to steal a base.
Dickey swings and misses, and that's the first out of the inning.
Slider. Got him chasing a bad one.
Only the second strikeout of the day for Correa, who averages just 4.6 strikeouts per 9 innings. Guy who relies on the ball being put in play. So here's Tejada, who had 4 hits last night, but 0 for 2 today. Popped up and flied out.
Hit and run or steal a base.
Pittsburgh catchers have thrown out 13 of 127. 13 of 127.
Mets have had 4 stolen bases in this series, but they've been caught twice. Once by a pitcher, though. Torres with 12 steals for the year, including 1 in this series as Correa shoots him a look. If Correa wins today, it'll give the Pirates 3 starters with 12 or more wins. They haven't had that since 1991, where the names were John Smiley, Zane Smith, and Doug Drabek. So even though it's been a tough second half for the Pirates, it's been a comeback season for them, a year of building.
As an MVP candidate in center field, their young third baseman looks like he's turned it over a little bit. Some good starting pitching. Marte might be their left fielder of the future. Some good things coming.
Got a big-time closer, too. The old Hanrahan. 2-0 down to Tejada. Daniel Murphy waits on deck. Correa dabbling around the strike zone in this inning. There goes Torres, and Tejada fouls it off.
Well, good hit and run right there. Normally you don't see it on 2-0 because it's a pitch for a guy ready to drive, but you got a guy like Tejada who is not really, see him look behind, hit and run all the way. Tejada's a singles hitter. You could put a 2-0 hit and run on with Tejada because he's a singles hitter.
Would you put it on 2 pitches in a row?
Why not? Well, you could.
Not going. And Tejada lines one to right field. On comes Snyder, and it drops in for a base hit. So Tejada with his 8th hit in 14 at-bats in this series.
Oh, Ruben goes the other way, and Correa loves to run that little brick and stuff away, little cutter away. You don't pitch inside enough, hitters are going to be leaning all over that plate.
So now the tying run is at second. The potential go-ahead run at first with 1 out. Daniel Murphy, the batter. Murphy singled to left and scored a run in the 4th inning. 1 for 2 on the day. This is about as energized as a crowd has been at Citi Field mid-game since the day after Santana's no-hitter.
Yeah.
Everybody who's at the ballpark today understands exactly what is at stake for R.A. Dickey. And they are hanging on every pitch. Line drive, base hit. Torres to third. He's being waved in. McCutcheon's throw comes in. It's cut off, and the Mets have tied it. Daniel Murphy brings home the tying run, and it's 3-3.
Fastball right down the middle. Daniel's a guy you want up with men on base where just a base hit can beat you. And nice hitting right through the middle.
Well, Murph's been their best hitter in September. Came in batting .338. He's going to add to that with his couple of hits, and now 12 RBI.
Ray Searage another trip to the mound to talk to Correa before he pitches to David Wright. A leadoff walk to Andres Torres really hurting Correa. His first walk of the day. He's coming to score the tying run. The bullpen gets cranked. Isanori Takahashi, the left-hander. Chris Rhysop, the right-hander for the Pirates. Mets have been fighting uphill all day. Now they've finally caught up. And now David Wright trying to give them the lead. David today is 1 for 2. Grounded out to short in the first and then snuck a base hit up the middle of the 4th. David has ridiculous numbers against Kevin Correa. He's 12 for 16 against him. He's hitting .750 against Correa with a couple of home runs.
Well, they're not playing so much to shift at shortstop this time at bat for David.
Those numbers are just off the charts.
So the guy sends a car for you to make sure you get from the hotel to the ballpark.
Hasn't hit the ball hard today against Correa, but this would be the spot for it. First and second and 1 out. And the slider off the plate. Ball and a strike. Keith, if you're a hitter upper in this spot, you sense the urgency based on what's at stake for your teammate?
You thrive on it. You want to be up. Yes. It's the situation I want to be up and hitting in.
But I mean, this is a late season game. Two teams who are going nowhere.
No, it's
can you feel the difference?
You play 162, you always want with men on base in whatever situation. Certainly there's more import. You got your pitcher out there, you want him to win 20. But it's something that you should really savor, and you can't get up to that plate fast enough. Want to do it.
2-1 to right. Fly ball deep right center. Back goes Snyder to the warning track. Back at the wall. It's out of here. David Wright with a 3-run homer. That's putting it on the board for your teammate. The Mets have their first lead of the day for Dickey. It's 6-3 New York. Number 21 for David Wright. And a day after setting the franchise hits record, he gives a big boost to his teammate going for a milestone of his own.
Well, you can't live out there. David just set up that way and goes that way. That's just a fastball on the outer half of the plate, and that's no doubt.
Now that's the last pitch Kevin Correa will throw today. Call to the bullpen brought to you by Verizon Wireless with Mets memorabilia from Verizon at Mets.com/Verizon Sweeps. Isanori Takahashi coming in with the Mets up 6-3. Homering in the Mets' final home game of the year and giving R.A. Dickey the lead. Now Ike Davis, who homered back in the second. And he takes a breaking ball from Isanori Takahashi. And Correa knew it immediately.
Well, you keep living on that outside corner. You better paint.
Davis pops this one up. Who's going to play it? The shortstop Mercer makes the call. And that's the second out of the inning. Isanori Takahashi making his second appearance of the series. Retired the only batter he faced on Monday night.
Well, he did such a great job, right? 2 years ago for the Mets, got that 2-year contract in Los Angeles. For the Angels, did a really good job, but struggled this season.
Now Scott Hairston, who singled in a run his last time up. Mets with 2 home runs tonight, so log on to sny.tv/Dwayne Reed to print out your coupon for $2 off Tide Pods laundry detergent, redeemable at any Dwayne Reed location. By the way, David right now has 21 home runs. 10 of the 21 have put the Mets ahead in a game. Isn't that what Keith used to do?
No, I didn't hit home runs.
But those game-winning RBIs,
yeah.
Right?
Yeah, but that's deceptive too.
Little spinner past Takahashi, but Harrison able to throw out Hairston, and that ends the inning. But the Mets grabbed the lead for the first time today by putting up a 4 spot in the 5th. Daniel Murphy got even, and then David Wright broke the tie. 3-1 homer. 6-3 New York after 5. What's left of the Mets' upcoming schedule, presented by Astoria Federal Savings. You can listen to every Mets game on Sports Radio 66 WFAN. 3 in Atlanta, 3 in Miami to finish off the season. R.A. Dickey 4-5 with the lead for the first time today. Now goes after his 20th victory as Travis Snyder leads off.
Important to throw a goose egg up here. Anytime your team scores for you, particularly giving you the lead, you run a goose egg.
Yeah, quickly 0-2 to Snyder, who's 1 for 2 at the plate and 1 for 1 catching home run balls.
He has not been comfortable in the box at all. He feels like R.A. is quick pitching him. He's asking for time from the umpire every time, and by the time he's ready to go, R.A. is on his way.
Well, the Pirates have been trying to slow R.A. down all day. They've been calling time, stepping out. Justin Wilson up in the Pittsburgh bullpen.
Well, Jim Cott, you'd have to do that too. When Jim Cott came over from the White Sox to the Philadelphia Phillies.
He struck him out. 10 strikeouts for R.A. Dickey. 1 out of the 6th. Let's check in with Chris Carlin. He's standing by with this game break. Here's Rod Barajas, who's had a big day today, a double and a home run. He's driven in 2. R.A. Dickey with 10 strikeouts. The 7th time this year he has struck out 10 or more in a game. Struck out as many as 13 against the Orioles. They're getting another one ready. Little tapper, and Dickey fields it. That's the second out. First time Barajas has been retired today.
Did you hear Barajas coming out of the plate? He said, change up. Already threw him a little change up. Look at that. Circle grip.
Oh, wow. Have we ever seen that before?
I have not seen it.
How about that? A good one.
Well, if plan A doesn't work, try plan B. You know what's interesting about that? As Jordy Mercer steps in, other than Josh Tolley, no catcher has caught R.A. Dickey more than Ron Barajas, because they were teammates in Texas,
right,
as well as teammates here. Now, obviously, he was a different pitcher in Texas. Grounded down to third.
Nice.
And David Wright on the backhand throws out Mercer, sign retired. Dickey with his first 1-2-3 innings since the first, right after getting the lead. 6-3 New York. Home 6th inning, Mike Baxter leads off against Isanori Takahashi, the former man who came on to get the final 2 outs in the 5th. Baxter, a very tough 0 for 2. He hit one over the fence that Travis Snyder brilliantly brought back in the 2nd inning, then he grounded out in the 4th. By the way, when David Wright hit that go-ahead home run for the Mets, Snyder tried to climb the fence again, and he did some damage.
He did. Tried to climb right up on one of the signs in right center field and took out a triangle.
Oh, that's a big gash right there. Does he have to pay for that?
I don't know. He might get a bill.
I mean, you're supposed to replace your own divots.
That is something.
I guess if you're ever going to destroy property, which, you know, you don't really want to do, the last home game of the year is the time. This is the catch he made when he was able to climb the fence on Baxter. That was just stunning.
Everyone will know Travis Snyder tonight after around 11.
Well, R.A. and the Mets hoping to make it a moot point. You would hate for that to be the difference in the game if you're the Mets. Breaking ball struck him out. Good pitch by Takahashi to get Baxter for the first out. Well, here's where the gash took place.
He's getting very carried away here.
Didn't really have much of a chance for that.
Call him false hustle.
He get hurt going through that sign and into the chain link.
Get your spike caught too. Very dangerous.
He figured he'd done it once.
I always felt cyclone fences should have been outlawed because of the potential to injury.
Well, you mentioned Bobby Valentine, and that's the classic. Josh Tolley takes a strike. There are the city probables for the series starting tomorrow night in Atlanta. John Neese makes his last start of the year on Chipper Jones night in Atlanta. Chris Young goes Saturday, and then Henry Mejia gets the tough matchup against Chris Medlin on Sunday. The curveball from Takahashi grounded out to Harrison at second. 2 out. Let's check in with Kevin.
Yeah, I'm thinking there'll be a pretty good crowd for that one tomorrow, guys, in Atlanta, and Neese is ready for that one. But when you think about the Braves, think about the job that Freddie Gonzalez has done. I mean, look what happened in history. All the teams that had rough stretches and collapses down the stretch coming back next year. And also for the Braves, how about this? You're talking about from mid-May to mid-June, they had a stretch where they lost 8 straight. The Braves also had a stretch where they lost 7 of 8, and yet here they are. They already have more wins than last year. Obviously, have already clinched a playoff spot. And for Gonzalez, guys, it has to feel good. He had a little verbal tussle with Marlins owner Jeffrey Luria this week. So for him getting that playoff berth, you know it's got to mean a lot. And for all the heroes for Atlanta, we've talked a lot about Medlin. You know, Mike Minor has been amazing in the second half. He hit a big league speed bump in the first half. His whip in the second half of the season is .9. Outstanding.
Well, it's very easy to suffer the kind of collapse the Braves did last year and have that be the story of your next season. I think it has been for the Red Sox in a lot of ways. I think it was for the Mets in '08. But the Braves erased that memory with what they've done this year.
Well, and in fact, I was thinking about it this morning when I was reading the paper. To me, that puts Freddie Gonzalez on the list for the manager of the year. I didn't consider him at all. I thought it would be Davey Johnson. But Freddie's got to be up there considering he was able to complete the turnaround. Or help with the turnaround, of course.
And guys, the fact that they did it with the same cast for the most part. I mean, yeah, they, you know, a couple of real nice trades by Frank Wren, obviously with Mahalam, who pitched well the other day. But for the most part, it was the same group of guys.
I tell you what, Dusty Baker's got to get a lot of consideration too. That team, you know, everybody got the Cardinals who won the division, the wild card, and won the World Series. So Dusty just continues to do a terrific job there at Cincinnati.
And we wish Dusty best with his health as that continues to be an issue. Torres out on strikes, 5 in a row retired by Takahashi. Dickey heads back to the mound with a 3-run lead. Here's our Toyota tweet of the game. What do you think about Keith's new look? Should he grow the mustache back? And the other question, which is not included in the tweet, is should he let it grow in natural or go with something artificial?
I really think, folks, with all the troubles in the world, both economically and internationally, there's far greater crises than my mustache.
They've only given you 3 hours to decide to grow it back. I mean, come on already.
We weren't characterizing it as a crisis, just a point of interest. And maybe you could grow it back in a different fashion.
Yeah, go Fu Manchu.
Doesn't have to be the old Keith mustache. Maybe you could grow a beard like Joel Hanrahan. Have you seen that one this week?
I had a beard once. Had a goatee, too.
How about a long, thin one like Headley?
Oh, well, no, I'm not into that.
Brock Holt, the pinch hitter. A ball and a strike.
No mustache here for Holt.
Babyface. Oh, there we go. Yes.
Brushes everywhere.
Up the middle of the diamond and a base hit for Brock Holt. So the pinch hitter leads off the 7th inning with the Pirates' 8th hit off Dickey. Here's your AT&T trivia question. The last pitcher for the Pirates to win 20 games in a season. Now Alex Presley is going to bat for Starling Marte. Marte batted 3 times and struck out all 3 against Dickey, so Clint Hurdle's going to try a different formula this time. Chris Rhysop up in the bullpen for the Pirates. Presley started the first 3 games of the series, went 3 for 12. So he'll get the at bat here. Marte struck out 3 times, only saw 11 pitches in the 3 at bats. So Clint Hurdle helping him avoid the dreaded golden sombrero.
You ever had the corn in the ballpark?
I have not. I've heard that corn is not good for the broadcast. I mean,
Well,
going on air with corn in the teeth.
Oh, I thought you meant something else.
Oh, no. See, you always go there, straight there. No, the full floss before you go on camera.
Someone told me that corn is empty calories. Huh? Not to put down corn. I love corn.
Get everybody in Iowa angry at you.
Well, I mean, don't get me into ethanol.
I mean, this is
a lot of snacks.
A feast.
I bet. 1-2. A little bit high to Presley. And it's 2-2.
Goodness gracious.
Box of food.
They've got more coming. Dickey already with 10 strikeouts today. His 7th double-digit strikeout game of the year. Double play ball. Tejada gets there, makes the flip, and Murphy the turn, but not in time to get the speedy Presley. Nicely done by Tejada as that ball really scooted on him, and he stayed with it to get the force.
Well, there's a case where the Mets make the force out, get the lead runner. Not quite can get 2, where the Pirates failed earlier.
Best complimenting the play Tejada is that we're starting to take this for granted that he's going to make those plays every single time, because he does.
Murph's got to be careful there, and that's how he's going to get hurt, because he's blindsided. A real hard-nosed slider can just take him out. Wouldn't know what hit him.
Well, if Andy Dirks was sliding for Detroit like he did last night, Murph would have been upended then.
That's how the Tigers won that game last night in the 8th inning. Dirks breaking up a potential double play. John Roush and Justin Hampson up in the Mets bullpen. And Harrison takes ball 1. Josh Harrison 0 for 3 today. Flied out, grounded out, struck out. You got Andrew McCutchen on deck, so this is a big hitter for Dickey. You don't want McCutchen up there as the tying run. And the slow knuckleball in for a strike. 1-1. This figures to be Dickey's last inning. 104 pitches, 1 out in the 7th.
Good one. Nice job by Josh there to make that catch.
He's had a good day with that knuckleball, hasn't he? Swing and a miss, and a ball that sailed out of the strike zone. It's 1-2.
Well, if Presley takes one more step, see this knuckleball again, just makes a left turn. He's going after Harrison, and if Presley makes another step, he's going to go out to first base too.
1-2. And a foul ball. Just got a piece of that.
Harrison really is befuddled up there. You can just tell certain hitters that just haven't had enough experience against the knuckleball and cannot figure it out. He is having all kinds of problems.
In Detroit, Billy Butler just homered in the top of the ninth, and Kansas City tied up Detroit 4-4.
Off Valverde, probably, right?
Yeah, so the Tigers had a 4-0 lead.
Papa Grande.
1-2 from Dickey. And again, Harrison just got a piece.
Good cut right there. I always thought, I know he's got that sailor where he makes the ball run horizontal away from a hitter or in. But the most effective knuckleball to me is one that drops. Just the bottom drops out.
Another 1-2 coming to Harrison. And he punches that one foul. Turns out it was Joaquin Benoit who gave up that tying home run. So Doug Fister had carried a one-hitter into the eighth, gave up 3 runs in that eighth inning, and doesn't seem like anybody wants to win that American League Central.
Yeah, nothing's coming easy.
The White Sox fell out of first place last night for the first time since July the 24th. They had been either tied or in the lead themselves every day after that until last night.
That game's on tonight, Gary. Peavy against Big Game James. Shields, that is.
Dickey working hard on Harrison. 8th pitch of the at bat coming up. First he'll check in on Presley, who's not too far off the bag. By the way, Dickey with the 7 double-digit strikeout games this year. Only Yu Darvish has more this year. The rookie for the Rangers has 8 double-digit strikeout games. 1-2. He struck him out. Number 11 for R.A. Dickey.
Good sign. Great sign.
The high one. The high, hard one.
Well, it would appear as though R.A. has one more batter to get before turning this over to the bullpen. He has struck out McCutchen twice today. Mets have done a great job against McCutchen this series. He's 2 for 13 in the 4 games, and Dickey gets ahead of him. R.A.'s thrown as many as 118 pitches in a start this year. That was August 9th against Miami. At 110 now. It's amazing, isn't it? Fly ball well hit to center, chasing Torres back in the gap, and Andres gets there to end the inning. Dickey gets through 7 with a 3-run lead. 6 outs away from a chance for 20 wins. It's R.A. Day at Citi Field, and the Mets lead 6-3 in the 7th. New York Mets baseball on SNY is brought to you by high yield free checking from Capital One Bank. What's in your wallet? By Dunkin' Donuts. America runs on Dunkin'. And by State Farm. Today's State Farm agent of the day is Hector Camillo of the Bronx. Contact Hector's office at hectorcamillo.com. Terry Collins pulling R.A. Dickey aside after he came off the mound. Dickey is due to lead off in the bottom of the 7th inning. He's thrown 111 pitches through 7 innings, allowed 3 runs, 8 hits. And he is headed toward the plate. Alex Presley, a pinch hit, stays in and left. Chris Reesop on the pitch, and Dickey getting in another ovation.
A standing O.
It's been a day of those. Dickey at the plate is grounded out and struck out. Fans starting to chant R.A. Dickey. R.A. Dickey. Little tapper. Dickey's going to run, and he's going to beat it out. How about that? He doesn't even know it was a fair ball, but he was running hard just in case, and he's got an infield hit. His 11th hit of the year. And couldn't have rolled it out there any better.
Little league game. As you say, Ronnie.
That's right.
Well, you don't want him to expend too much energy on the base paths if he's going to go out there and pitch the 8th inning.
He's fine. The adrenaline he's got going right now.
Could bottle it.
Yeah, boy.
Reesop making his 2nd appearance in this series. Got beat up in his first one.
Walks.
Ruben Tejada 1 for 3 on the day. He was right in the middle of the Mets go-ahead rally in the 5th. Mets were down 3-2 and they came to bat in the 5th. The leadoff walk to Torres. Tejada punched a single to right. Murphy drove in the tying run, and then David Wright with a 3-run opposite field home run to put the Mets and Dickey in the lead.
Well, Correa will look back, and that walk to Torres on a slider at that.
3-1 slider.
Jeez.
Slowly hit. Mercer will make the flip to 2nd, and no chance to turn 2. That's probably a blessing in disguise for the Mets, as Dickey can come off the field and get some rest and another ovation. Saint Dickey to this fan base.
Terry Collins is saying to him, "Are you kidding me? I sent you up there to make an out. You can't have a swinging bunt."
He was probably trying to hit one out to left where he hit it in his last start.
That's right.
When he got robbed of a 3-run double. Is that Brian Peterson? Marlins. Here's Murphy, who's 2 for 3 on the day. Drove in a run, scored 2. Fastball from Reesop for a strike. Back to our AT&T trivia question. Last Pirates 20-game winner.
Smiley or Drabek?
Smiley.
Yeah.
There you go. 1991. Center field, coming on is McCutchen, and he reaches out and does not make the catch. Tejada's going to be forced at 2nd.
The first base umpire, Manny Gonzalez, clearly gave the safe sign, but I don't know if Tejada didn't see him or was just looking at McCutchen, who is shaken up on the play. Tejada forced in second, and McCutchen slow getting up.
Proper call. He trapped it. A lot of times when you fall on your chest like that, you kind of knock the wind out of you a little bit.
Watch his left knee, though, Keith, how it goes into the ground. Just banged that knee straight into, and Tejada wasn't sure, didn't pick up anything. Looked at the wrong umpire. He should have looked at Gonzalez, who was out in right center.
And Gonzalez, to his credit, gave a very clear safe sign quickly, but Tejada, I guess, didn't see him. And now the concern from McCutchen.
Yeah,
so it goes as an 8-6 fielder's choice for the second out of the inning.
That is a straight knee plant into the ground on an attempted catch. Watch his left knee. He's bounced off the turf.
And he's coming out of the game. So McCutchen will exit. Now keep in mind, McCutchen is battling for a batting title. He went 0 for 4 today. He came into the day with a 3-point lead in the batting race, but his average went down 2 points today. So he's at 332, just 1 point ahead of Buster Posey. Jose Tabata will come into the game and play left field. And Alex Presley will move to center field as McCutchen walks off slowly. Boy, you'd hate to have to battle for a batting title from the sidelines.
Or if it's a tender knee and that's part of your hitting, if it affects your hitting and you're fighting for a batting title. Ouch.
Here's the Coors Light freeze cam on the trap.
Clearly a trap. Good call by the first base umpire, Mr. Gonzalez.
So now David Wright bats with a runner at first and 2 out. David hit a 3-run homer to give the Mets the lead in the 5th inning. There goes Murphy, and no throw by Barajas as it slips out of his hand, and Murphy has his 10th stolen base of the year.
Well, if Murph can't get a hit, he'll steal a base. Got robbed of a hit there.
Wright is 2 for 3 today. And that one trickles behind Barajas, but not far enough for Murphy to make a move.
You got to put Wright on, bringing the left-hander against Ike, don't you?
Well, they've got Tony Watson, the lefty, up in the bullpen.
Lysop doesn't have enough to get Wright out. Or it's a mismatch.
We've also got the righty Brian Morris up. Now, the series that David has had against the Pirates, 7 hits and 14 at bats, certainly solidifies his chances of finishing over 300 this year. That was in jeopardy a few days ago, but it's up to 309 now. And Lysop falls behind 3-0.
Got to let him swing here, don't you?
I would.
The lefty's going to come in to face Ike.
Right back to Lysop, and he makes the play to end the inning. Dickey gets a leadoff infield hit. He's heading back to the mound for the 8th inning. 6-3 New York. 6 outs away from a 20th win. R.A. Dickey carries 11 strikeouts to the mound as he starts the 8th inning. He'll face Garrett Jones, Pedro Alvarez, and Travis Snyder as the bullpen stays busy. John Roush and Justin Hampson both up behind Dickey. Jones has been aboard 3 straight times, an opposite field double, a single to right, and a walk, the only walk that Dickey's given up today. And Jones takes the knuckleball for a strike. So R.A. pushing through 111 pitches through 7 innings and still out there starting the 8th. And how far he goes probably depends on what happens right here.
Well, it's another game where R.A. is going deep, deeper than most pitchers in today's game. Well, there they are.
Dickey trying to join that company. Tom Seaver won 20 or more 4 times as a Met. Dwight Gooden, Jerry Kuzman, David Cohn, and the last to do it, Frank Viola, 22 years ago. 1-2. He struck him out. Strikeout number 12 for R.A. Dickey, 1 shy of his career high.
Well,
and he goes with the changeup again.
Circle change, turning it over. Nice.
Well, he used it to get Barajas the last time up, and now he uses it to get Garrett Jones.
Reminds me a little of Phil Niekro when he was going for 300. He decided to use his fastball the entire game.
Here's Pedro Alvarez, struck out twice and grounded out, 0 for 3. And he takes inside for ball 1. The last knuckleballer to win 20 games was Joe Niekro in 1980. One and one to Alvarez.
That's a hard one because he was fastball slider with the occasional knuckleball was Joe.
Well, predominantly knuckleball,
Yeah.
Ronnie, but when he fell behind the count, he had a good slider and he knew how he spotted his fastball. But I'd say Joe threw knuckleball around maybe 65-70% of the time.
Joe Niekro had 20 win seasons in 79 and 80. In fact, both Niekros won 20 in 1979. Good knuckleball. 2-2 to Alvarez. Bill Niekro won 20 or more 3 times. Wilbur Wood did it twice.
Well, even on the knuckleball, staying underneath it and then pronating.
Struck him out. Number 13 for Dickey. He's tied his career high.
Oh, good down break late.
Just wavering enough. It's the speed of the knuckleball that's getting these Pittsburgh hitters.
Two out in the 8th, and now Travis Snyder is 1 for 3. Most pitches he's thrown this year. And now ahead on Snyder, 1-2. Snyder hanging in there. Dickey has thrown as many as 131 pitches in a major league game. That was 8 years ago as a conventional pitcher for Texas. Having remade himself into something magnificent. The slow knuckleball was fouled off. He dialed that back to 61 miles an hour.
Just like dead arms it up there.
That ball elevated. Up.
2-2 now to Snyder as he threw another changeup. You know, his knuckleball tends to move in on the left-hand batter. The changeup enables him to get one going the other way.
How about he paints him with a fastball in after a changeup away?
Now a full count to Snyder. You have to figure if he doesn't get Snyder, we'll probably see another arm to pitch to Barajas, who's had a big day. Three-two coming. And he walked him. So Dickey was ahead on Snyder, loses him to his second walk of the day. Terry Collins on his way out, but jogging out, which means that this may not be a pitching change.
It's not going to be one. It's just going to give him a spell and say, look, it's your last guy. Take a deep breath. Go get him.
3-run lead helps.
And that's going to be all for R.A. So he asked him, and he got an honest answer. And one thing that Terry has said all year is that R.A. has been honest with him. After 128 pitches and 13 strikeouts, R.A. Dickey is 4 outs away from becoming a 20-game winner. What an afternoon for Dickey and the Mets. We'll be right back. John Roush comes in to try and get the final out in the top of the 8th. As Rod Barajas hits one in the air to deep left center field. Back goes Torres to the warning track, and he has room right at the wall to reel it in. Roush throws one pitch, gets one very long out, and R.A. Dickey is now 3 outs away from a 20th victory. 14 strikeouts, matching his career high. Took over the National League strikeout lead, but loses the ERA lead by a sliver. He goes to 2.69. Clayton Kershaw's at 2.68.
By the way, Pena on the ground ball looked like a manatee out of water. What was he thinking about? Throw the ball.
Marty Lombardi snooze.
Jeez.
Ike Davis leads off for the Mets in the bottom of the 8th, looking to stretch their lead against the left-hander Tony Watson. Ike homered back in the 2nd inning, and he takes the pitch high for ball 1.
Like the Mets, the Pirates have some young pitchers with really good arms.
Watson from Sioux City, Iowa, 27 years old.
University of Nebraska.
By the way, the 213 strikeout games for Dickey this year. First time a Met has had 2 games with that many strikeouts in the same season since David Cohn in 1991. By the way, as Dickey's gone through this season, David Cohn's name has come up as a lot.
That's right.
As the last to do whatever.
Well, he got traded in '92 over to the Blue Jays, and he had 214 strikeouts at that point.
Davis goes down on the slider. So Watson fans the first man to face him. 1 out in the home 8th. SNY Super Slow Motion is brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. Visit them on the web at searchmercedes.com. Now Scott Hairston, who's 1 for 3, singled in a run in the 4th. The Mets trailed in this game 3-1, but they scored 4 runs in the bottom of the 5th to take the lead for good. Hairston's base hit in the 4th got them within 3-2. Murphy drove in the tying run in the 5th, and then David Wright hit a 3-run homer, and the Mets have been in front ever since. And Watson at 96 fires the fastball outside. Got some serious Cholula. Tomorrow night, the Mets open their series in Atlanta. John Neese against Tim Hudson on Chipper Jones night. Our coverage begins at 7 o'clock tomorrow night on SNY.
That's a 7:30 start, right, Gary?
7:30 game, but the pregame coverage begins at 7, Keith, so make sure you tune in time.
You hope it's 7:30 start.
Well, that's true with the ceremonies honoring Chipper tomorrow night. It could stretch a bit.
I'll be there with you, Gary.
I look forward to that.
I missed you guys the last 3 days.
Glad you could come back.
I got a lot of work done.
Even if you left your friend behind. Popped up. Straight up. Baraja sheds the mask. Puts it away. 2 out. Geico Sports Night, your nightly source for all things New York sports. Tonight at 10:30. One-on-one with Jets linebacker Bart Scott. Giants get ready to play the Eagles, and reaction to what the Mets hope will be R.A. Dickey's 20th win tonight on Geico Sports Night at 10:30.
By the way, you don't even need a one-on-one with Bart Scott. Just give him a microphone. He'll go.
1-on-0.
Yeah, exactly.
Here's Mike Baxter, who might feel a little cheated today. Hit one over the fence in right field, only to have it brought back by the catch of the year, turned in by Travis Snyder. So he figures he'll try and bunt his way on. Deadens it beautifully, and Watson's throw to first base is just in time to get him. Side retired. Baxter robbed again. R.A. Dickey's 3 outs away from a 20th win. John Roush will try and seal it for him in the ninth. John Roush, who got the final out in heart-in-mouth fashion in the 8th, will stay on to pitch the 9th. Jordy Mercer leads off for the Pirates. Ball 1. Roush's last 4-out save came last year as a member of the Toronto Blue Jays, April 29th of last year against the Yankees. The bullpen is busy behind him. 1-1 to Mercer. Jeff Clement has come out on deck to pinch hit. Left-hand batter. Two and one now to Mercer. Roush's first pitch to Rod Barajas was hit halfway back on the warning track in left center, but Andres Torres had enough room to catch it, and R.A. Dickey was able to catch his breath. Now Mercer fouls it back, and it's 2-2. Let's go back to our Toyota tweet of the game. Your thoughts on Keith's new look? Should he grow the mustache back? Give it a month or two, then handlebar and maybe a monocle. We hadn't thought about that.
Colonel Klink.
Bobby Valentine mustache and glasses, anybody? 2-2 to Mercer. Off the plate with a slider, now full count. Now with a 3-run lead, you just can't walk the leadoff batter in the 9th. Mercer has one major league home run. And throws him a fastball and he fouls it straight back. Mercer's 2 for 3 today, had an infield hit to drive in a run in the 2nd inning when the Pirates took the early lead. They made a base hit to center field in the 4th. Mercer hanging tough against Roush, who has 4 saves this year for the Mets. Frank Francisco battling elbow injuries. Robert Carson is out because he had the tricep strain the other night. Josh Edgin's been shut down for the year. So the Mets are a little shorter in the bullpen. Bobby Parnell and Justin Hampson staying busy behind Roush. 3-2 to Mercer. And another fastball and another foul ball. Well, they'll always be able to say that they brought the baby to R.A. Dickey's 20th win. If it turns out that way. Well, remember,
You'll be told, though, many times.
On the resume, though. 9th pitch of the at-bat. And Mercer fouls off another one. So the rookie Jordy Mercer making John Roush work and making R.A. Dickey sweat.
Ronnie, whenever you have an at-bat like this, when you pitch and a particular hitter just kept fouling off your pitches, did it frustrate you?
It could frustrate you at times, but in the circumstances where you are right now, 3-2 count, not a home run hitter by nature, 3-run lead, you know what you have to do. You just got to keep pumping fastballs in, hope he gets himself out.
Again, the 3-2, and again he fouls back the fastball.
Right in front of Al on camera 2.
Pitch number 11 on the way. And that's ball 4. And the Pirates have the leadoff man on in the 9th. Quite a turn at bat for Jordy Mercer to get the leadoff man on for Pittsburgh. Let's check in with the studio, see what's coming up on WB Mason Postgame Live with Chris Carlin and Bobby Ojeda. Jeff Clement, the pinch hitter, struck out as a pinch hitter yesterday, and Roush misses outside for ball 1. Pirates need one more base runner to get the tying run to the plate in the 9th inning. Remember the last time Dickey came out of a game, Roush gave up a 3-run homer that made things dicey, but ultimately was able to nail it down. There's a strike, 1-1.
When your team's out of it, the enormity of the situation is brought on by an individual goal.
Alex Presley, the on-deck batter. Clemens swings through the change up, and it's 1-2.
Big uppercut swing, power swing.
He struck him out. 1 out of the 9th.
Best slider he's thrown.
Got on top, got downward tilt.
There he goes. You see how he's on the outside of that baseball. That rotation picks up speed as it bottoms out in the bottom of the strike zone.
So now 1 out and 1 on. Alex Presley up for the second time, hit into a force play in the 7th.
Where the McCutchen injury looms large at this point.
McCutchen would be 2 batters away, but he left after hitting the ground hard, trapping a base hit by Daniel Murphy in the 5th inning. And a fastball strike. 1-1. Presley pokes it foul, and now Roush ahead in the count, 1-2.
Roush is throwing hard.
He's been throwing hard the whole second half.
Well, he certainly understands the import of this save opportunity. That's last home game of the year, last inning of the year at home, and so much on the line for R.A. Dickey. 1-2. Fly ball deep right field. Back goes Baxter to the track at the wall, and it's out of here. Alex Presley hits a 2-run homer to make this a 1-run game. Presley's 10th home run of the year, and it's deja vu for R.A. Dickey, seeing Roush give up a home run to get the opposition within a run. Last time Dickey came out of a game, it was John Buck hitting a 3-run homer to cut the Met lead to 4-3. This time it's Alex Presley's 2-run homer that makes it 6-5 New York. So hold your horses. Pitching change coming. Bobby Parnell will try and nail it down now. It's a 1-run game. We'll be right back. save of the year. Josh Harrison, the batter, 6-5 New York. 1 out and nobody on, and Harrison takes a fastball for a strike. Harrison today 0 for 4, struck out his last 2 times against R.A. Dickey, who fanned 13 and 7 2/3. Alex Presley's 2-run homer, though, making it a 1-run game. And Harrison watches the breaking ball, 1-1. Not particularly good numbers for Parnell against his first batter. And a good breaking ball to get ahead on Harrison, 1-2. Keep in mind, if you watch that last breaking ball, that Andrew McCutchen would have been next, but McCutchen left with discomfort in his left knee, and so it's Jose Tabata on deck instead. Curveballs in a row, and it's 2-2 to Harrison. There's Tabata, who will be batting for the first time in the game. Roush hoping Parnell can pick him up. Two to Harrison. Now it's foul. Not covering his face yet.
Harrison, they're vulnerable inside with that fastball.
Want to go away with it. And he fouls it off at 98 miles an hour.
Right down the middle, up. Harrison's really protecting the plate here. Really driving. Look at that front shoulder. So that tells you he's vulnerable inside.
Yeah, you can double up with the fastball. 1-run game, you're always fearful going inside, but
everything's been away that's holding back.
Yeah.
3 home runs on the year for Harrison. Curveball bounced to short. On the backhand, Tejada against the fast Harrison. He throws him out. 2 down.
Well, this was a ball I felt Tejada had a chance to get in front of. Gets him with the breaking ball. Just took enough off to get him out in front. Nice easy hop for Ruben. Strong throw.
So now Dickey is 1 out away. Jose Tabata batting for the first time in the game. A lot of curveballs from Parnell.
I'll say.
Tabata strokes one to right. Over comes Baxter. Makes the catch. And R.A. Dickey is a 20-game winner. Sixth pitcher in Mets history to win 20 or more games in a season, and the first since Frank Viola 22 years ago.
He might be last in line, but he's been first in line all season long as he gets the game ball.
Punctuation on a magnificent season, a 13 strikeout performance for Dickey as he goes 7 2/3 for his 20th win of the year to match Gio Gonzalez for the league lead in wins. Makes the last day at Citi Field in 2012 a happy one for the Mets and their fans.
Well, I'll tell you what, this is inspirational. So never say die, never quit. Keep plugging. That is a classic example right there. Bravo.
A young man because of a picture on a magazine He took back his scholarship in professional baseball, taught himself a pitch, and has come all the way back now with 20 wins and the leading contender for the Cy Young.
Your game summary brought to you by McDonald's. Dickey, the first 20-game winner for the Mets since Frank Viola 22 years ago. Matched his career high with 13 strikeouts today. Mets got home runs for Mike Davis and David Wright. And Bobby Parnell got the final 2 outs to seal the deal for Dickey as he takes another step toward becoming the first knuckleballer in history to win a Cy Young Award. It's certainly not in the bag. He'll have 1 start left to make an impression. He leads the league in strikeouts now, tied for the league lead in wins, leads in complete games and shutouts. He's a tick behind for the ERA lead, but it has been a magnificent and transcendent year for R.A. Dickey. And R.A. is standing by with Kevin Burkhardt downstairs. Kevin?
This is a pretty cool moment. Wow. This crowd, just tell me what this was like today in front of them.
Well, you know, the best laid plans sometimes crumble around you, but we had a plan. We wanted to try to do this for you guys, and this is as much about you as it is for me, and I'm happy to celebrate it with everybody. Thank you.
How much of a factor was that when you wanted to move up and get a chance to pitch here in front of the home crowd one last time?
Well, you know, I saw an opportunity to get in front of the home crowd 2 more times if I bumped a day up, and we were sitting at 18 at the time, and you know, the season hasn't gone like we wanted, but this is a special moment, this moment right here, and I'm happy to share it with all of you guys.
A couple years ago, you were the first player cut from spring training. Now you're a 20-game winner. What's that feel like?
Oh, man, only God could script a narrative like that. It's just been incredible. I'm just so humbled by it, and you guys have been the best and so loyal. Thank you. I don't know what to say. This is just overwhelming.
How about getting to that number? I mean, you know, 19 wins, still a tremendous year, but what does that number 20, mean to you?
Well, it's a nice round number. I mean, it's the culmination of a lot of hard work and a lot of people who've loved me well. And it's just so fun to be able to celebrate it with other people. I mean, that's a gift for me. And so I thank everybody for coming out and sticking with me and being loyal. And you guys are the best, and I appreciate you.
Is there some symmetry for you that the guy who had his night, David Wright, last night, is the guy that helped put you in front today?
I was hoping when we got some runners on base. You know, I didn't have a great knuckleball early on. I know I was getting some swings and misses, but I just didn't have a great feel of it in my hand. And I thought that we might have to score some runs today early on. And David hit the big blow, and it's really poetic the way that it happened, and I'm thankful for it.
Now, it looked like on TV that you went to the changeup a little bit today. Did you mix in a couple different pitches besides the knuckleball?
Yeah, you know, I'm 37 years old now, and I have a lot of tricks in my bag, and so I was doing all I could do to just survive innings. In the 8th inning, Terry, I came after the 7th, and I thought I was done, and he said, you know, go out there and give those guys all you got, and I was happy to do it. So I went out in the 8th, and we did it.
You have been honest all year about, you know, your body and telling Terry when it was time to get out, but still, even so, was it hard to come out of this game despite the fact you were up near 130 pitches?
Yeah, it was. When I got out there, I think we had decided that he was going to give me a hitter, and we struck out the first 2 guys, and I threw a super slow knuckleball. I thought he was going to miss. He fouled it off, and I ended up walking him. But after that, I knew I was coming out. I was just kind of gassed, and it's more important for me to win the baseball game at that point than anything I had to do.
Well, 20 wins is obviously a fantastic number, but do you think there's a Cy Young Award in the cards as well?
Well, I don't know if that's up to me. I feel like I've done all I can do.
All right, a pleasure to watch. Congratulations. R.A. Dickey.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank you.
20-game winner. Guys, let's go back to you.
His year began at the summit when he climbed Mount Kilimanjaro. He moved on to catharsis with the publishing of his memoir, and now he has reached transcendence with his 20th win of the season. It's been quite a 2012 for R.A. Dickey as the Mets close their home schedule, watching R.A. post his 20th win of the year. Mets beat the Pirates 6-5. We'll come back with much more from Citi Field in just a moment.